Yes.
They mishandle the evidence that we read at the top. Greer tells you that 270 projects of the BRI have failed because they are slated for geopolitical interests. This is taking into account financing. It's not an issue of financing, so don't let Daniel Hugh frontline in a bottle pie. We give you the South China Morning evidence that's really the Morning Post evidence that's really they mishandle. That tells you that right now, even if China's long-term goal is to promote their economy, the way that they scapegoat economic problems is through promoting military strength. That's why he finds that no projects have had returns on investment. It's not because of funding. It's because of the fact that they're geopolitically the goals of these projects are geopolitically oriented, meaning that in the long term they're never going to produce returns on investment. This A, either completely takes out their link, or B, really muddles out the clarity of their link, because it means that we don't know if China's going to actually invest in this power grid, if they're just going to invest in places to seize ports. They haven't given you a single example of places that have actually seen increased connectivity in their speeches. At that point, they don't have any linkage to their case. But let's look to our really, really good link. The one extent that they respond is that, oh, renewable, without a grid, they aren't going to be able to implement this. A, they don't want access to the grid, but B, we would say that this is a short-term thing, meaning that because the Bergen Ellsworth evidence tells you that renewables are the cheapest source right now, they have the capacity to facilitate the switch. They don't actually need a grid because you can just store energy in batteries, according to Yang. At that point, let's look to our evidence. Ellsworth tells you that right now renewable energy is cheapest, but Dow tells you that the BRI changes that because you've seen a 3-time increase in investment, and 93% of that has gone towards fossil fuels. Problematically, Hilton explains that you lock in countries into these carbon-intensive systems, which has two implications in the round. First, it means that it's physically harder to switch because all of those systems are not compatible with green energy, but B, it means that the political incentive to switch goes away. This also takes out their argument on strength of link, because it means that in the long term, they try to say that in the long term you can switch to renewables, but if your systems are locked in, you can't switch. At that point, Zadak tells you that they're going to account for 50% of global emissions. At that point, A, we outweigh on time frame, because by 2030, if we don't start going on renewables, switching to renewables, we're not going to be able to switch to this green technology. The impacts of climate change are going to manifest. But B, on magnitude, I would say that having 250,000 deaths annually is probably the biggest link to lives in today's round. It is the biggest impact to